Hi, and welcome to Writing with Sandhya. And this is going to be another very special episode. I'm very proud and honored to welcome Lieutenant Colonel Ankita Srivastava, retired, to my channel. Welcome, Ankita.
Thank you,
And
Sandhya.
yes, this is the second retired Lieutenant Colonel author whom I know. The first is my father, who wrote Burma to Bangalore, and I co-authored that with him. So I was really excited when I heard that Ankita is also going to be writing a book, and I was waiting for to release it so that I could meet with her. So really excited that I could meet with her today. So proud of you. Welcome, or maybe I should say Jai Hind.
Oh, Jai Hind.
Yeah. So tell me about your army career. So how did you get started or inspired to get into the army?
Okay, it is in 1993. I became the first girl from Allahabad to join Indian Army. That time,
Wow.
it was unimaginable for any household in Allahabad to imagine their daughters to go and join Indian Army. It was very difficult. But then somehow I was very motivated after seeing the serial Udan on
Okay.
Doordarshan. And
Hmm.
I had vowed that I will wear the uniform similarly as Kalyani Singh in that Udan serial used to wear. The way she used to put her peacock, the way she used to buckle her belt, I
Mhm.
somehow it went into my head and I thought I have to be here. And if not IPS, I mean, that time it was just the IPS. I wanted to
Yeah.
become an IPS officer when I saw the serial. After that, as I graduated, one fine day I came to know that Army has started inducting women. So I immediately switched over my aim from IPS because I thought IPS may, there would be many other girls who have already joined. Indian Army is something new, something very challenging. I think I get attracted towards such challenges in my life. So I thought I'll join Indian Army.
Uh, yeah, that's lovely because growing up, I also always wanted to be in the army since my dad was in the army and that's where I grew up. But so I was very disappointed, like when at a certain age, he said that actually women weren't allowed in the Indian army. So I was
Correct.
very disappointed then. So I'm really glad, that they've opened up and, this happened for you. So what would you say to girls now who are considering a career in the army? Do you have any advice for them?
Yes, today it's a very secured career because now the permanent commission eligibility is also come for the women officers. Earlier in
Okay.
my time, yeah, earlier in my time there was no permanent commission. It was only
Hmm.
induction was only for 5 years. I
Yeah.
joined actually for 5 years, then it got extended to 10 years, then again it got extended to 14 years. After 14
Hmm.
years, it was nothing for women officers. So I had to leave. I wouldn't have
Hmm.
left. I mean, my blood is still olive green, I could say that. So, but today the girls can join, and it's a beautiful career. Obviously, you have to do a lot of hard work. It's not a routine life, it is different. You need to adapt to the atmosphere that you get posted into, and you need to really be very fit and very sharp and very like brave also.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So 14 years in the army, then how did you get into writing? What were your early experiences with writing?
Yeah, because 40, okay, I have been a chotu motu writer when I was in college. I used
Okay.
to hide from my dad and write for small couplets or 4 lines of poetry. And my poetry got selected in American Poetry Anthology then while I was in
Okay.
college. But what I didn't send it by my name. I sent it with my by my brother's name because my father wouldn't have allowed me to become a writer. He wanted me to become a doctor actually. So I used to
Okay.
write chori chori, and that boosted my morale. Then I started cycling my way to the radio station and I started reading my poems. Again chori
Hmm.
chori. All everything was very chori chori in my house. So that also encouraged me. And since I being brought up in a very regimental style, a very disciplined household, I was not generally free to talk to people. So
Mhm.
when people are not, when a versatile or a verbose person like me, who's a typical Geminian, is not allowed to speak, what happens? She starts writing. And that is how I turned a writer at that age. But yes, while in the army, I used to write for army journals. I was the cadet editor in my officers training academy in that journal. I was the cadet editor,
Okay.
in fact.
Mm.
So I had that flair. And once I finally finished army, that is the time I decided to write my books. And
Okay.
that's why I could write.
Okay. So that's what, after really left, that's what you've been doing? You've been writing books, is it?
Yeah, I've been writing books. Yes.
Okay. So what have been some of your writing so far?
My first book was The Pink Scarecrow. It is a military fiction. It's a suspense. It's a military,
Oh.
in the military backdrop. It's a romantic suspense in the military backdrop, actually. And
Mhm.
I was just a very novice writer. I did not know the ABC of writing. But I'm one person who, as I told you, I get drawn towards challenges. So I thought, let me write, let me see how I come up. So that was my first book. Then my second book, I wrote a 100 poems in Hindi, which again was a challenge because I couldn't write proper Hindi, but then I did that also. And my third book would be my Olive Green to Beauty Queen, which is now going to come out as I think as early as on the Women's Day. This is all my third book is definitely my personal journey. Actually, my personal journey, how I catapulted myself uh, from being an army officer to a beauty queen.
Hmm. Oh, that's amazing. Yes. And just, I think, as you got inspired, but that was by a fictional character. I'm hoping that lots of people get inspired by, a real life story of your story. I think that would be lovely. Yeah. So beauty queen, that's interesting. So you went for beauty pageants, is it?
Yeah, I went for a
Okay.
beauty pageant, and because I was see for 14 years in the army, being the one of the pioneer batch lady officers, I was proving to the nation that I'm not a woman
Hmm.
actually, because therein we were trying to survive in a male dominated profession. And at every step, I had to prove that I'm not a girl, I'm not a woman, I'm an officer.
Mhm.
Not that gender specific, but as an officer. Because we were the initial batches. I was the third batch of Indian Army. So we were,
Hmm.
and in my unit, I was one of the just two lady officers. We were posted in pairs, and I was just one of them. So it was very difficult for me to prove myself. I mean, we used to behave like a what shall I say, a true officer. We would not show
Yeah.
our girly side. So this happened, this went into my system, into my blood, and in my demeanor, in my way of talking, in my way of dressing. Everything was so masculine, I would say. Nothing feminine was there. I was like losing out, and
Yeah.
I was very happy doing that. And not that I was missing
Mhm.
out on that, but then
Yeah.
as I went out of the army, that is the time I realized that I'm not going to succeed with this demeanor in the civil. So I had to undergo a crash course of how to be a beautiful woman, actually. And that crash course was, again, I said, I'm drawn to the challenges from
Yeah.
being a very, like just two poses I knew, Savdan and Vishram. With two poses known to me, I'm thinking of walking the ramp. I mean, I'm thinking of posing, you can imagine the amount of confidence I would have had that time. Okay, let me try this also, because it was 180-degree opposite to what
Yes.
I was.
Definitely. Hmm.
That is why I went there.
Yeah. So I can see that you're drawn to challenges, and that's amazing that you're exploring such radical and different things. So I think that shows that you're very open and, flexible about such things, but also that you're very accomplished. Whatever you do, you seem to really have some great achievements in that. So what has been some award that feel it means the most to you?
Okay, the awards you mean?
Yeah.
I won this Tanishq beauty pageant. That was in
Okay.
2008. And after that, I won the Most Vivacious Woman Award in Gladrags Mrs India 2009. After that, I
Okay.
have been awarded as one of the best author in one literary magazine had given me. I started writing in online magazine. I started contributing in anthologies as well. One stories,
Mhm.
one articles like that. So that is there. Then I got Veer Virangana award. That is something, my
Oh.
bravery award basically. And then there
Okay.
was like I think I got an excellence award in the chosen field of my chosen field of work. I got that also award on that. And I also got a Kamayani award for my Hindi poem books. So I have, I think I've been blessed. God has been very kind, I should say. That's
No,
it.
it's also, I think, your efforts, though. Yes, I think definitely, I think it's what you have put into it. Yes. So you seem to have done a lot of writing, as you said, poems and, articles and all of that. So what are some of the topics that you like to write about?
Oh, military humor. My latest passion is military humor. I
That
have
sounds
had,
fun.
now when I look back, I really can't stop laughing at the flaps that I created, the chaos that I created, the confusion that I created. I only did. I mean, it's not nobody else did. I only was like sometimes a misfit at a particular place, but I'm trying to squeeze myself to make myself fit into that situation. But I'm totally unfit. I'm totally unfit. So it becomes a very hilarious situation now when I look back. So
Yeah.
that is how I'm trying to write about military. That's my latest passion, and I have been writing a lot about. And then my husband is an Air Force officer, so
Oh,
I,
okay.
yeah, you were about to ask. So being married to an Air Force officer, as an Army officer, you can imagine visibly from outside it would be seen there's no difference, but inside when I'm there as a permanent member in his life, there are many differences between Air Force and Army style of life, daily life.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
all that has created a lot of confusion, lot of differences. And in fact, my marriage, the first question which my husband asked me when he came to see me, it's an arranged marriage. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"Which is your unit?" I said, F5 FOD. He made a dirty face saying, "Do you even know what an FOD is in Air Force?" I said, "How do I know? You tell me." "It's a foreign object damage and it is not considered a good in terms of flying." I said, "Do you know what FOD stands in the army?" So he said, "No." I said, "It's a field ordnance depot. I'm posted in a field ordnance depot."
Yeah.
My first fight started from here before I got married to him, actually.
Oh, that's a lovely story. We'd love to, read and hear lots more of the stories. So looking forward to that. I think that would be a wonderful, set of stories to read. So that's awesome. So through your writing, is there anything that you want to convey or any messages
Yeah.
you have so that in mind? Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes a message is like, whatever I have experienced, I would like to tell the people that nothing is impossible. That is one. I always want to communicate to my readers. Everything is possible. You can do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. That is one. Second is, suppose I want to sort out some people in real life. I create a villainous character about them.
And you get that out of your system.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that it goes out of my system, and then I'm happy. Okay, I could sort that person out in my writing. Though now I've
Yeah.
become a more matured person. This I used to do earlier. Now I think I've become more saintly. I've started forgiving people so much, so I have started converting that also into a very humorous thing. Earlier I used to
Yeah.
do this, but now I'm okay. Now I start laughing at it. I don't keep anything in my heart. And the
That's
major
good.
thing I want to tell people, my readers from my book, is that, like, read this. This is something which you must have not even heard about, which you'll not come to know about. This kind of a life, this kind of a person exists, and something absolutely different dimension I'm talking about.
Mm.
That is what I want to tell my readers.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a really awesome topic, and I think there's a lot in it for the readers, but also I'm glad there was some things in it for you as well to work through that. Yes.
Correct, correct. So that is what I wanted to just share, from Olive Green to Beauty Queen. It took me, in fact, 9 years to write this book.
Oh, yeah. I know it takes time when you're working. By the way, this my cat Tuk Tuk just came up to say hi.
I took to, hello,
Maybe
baby.
introduce.
Oh, so
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah, been wandering around and viewing,
So
so I'm
cute.
like, okay, she can come in. Yeah, so yeah, it does take a long time to write the book. So what are some of the challenges that you faced when you were writing?
Writer's block, of course, that was, I didn't feel like writing after some time. And
Yeah.
I did not know how to end the story actually. I
Mm.
thought I'm becoming more like a narrative and a diary entry, which I didn't want to, because
Mhm.
I have learned my first book, I did not know how to write at that time. Then I underwent this British Council creative writing course in English in Delhi.
Okay.
That is there I learned. I mean, I was a senior most student there. Young girls and young boys were there, but then I don't feel ashamed of learning at any age and any stage from anyone. So I
Right.
went like a proper English wali movie mein jo Sri Devi used to sit with a sari and learn. So I was one of them. And I really learned Twitter, I learned Instagram and all those technical things, the social media thing. And basically I learned the art of writing dialogues. I learned, because otherwise it will become a very narrative and a very diary entry, and which becomes very boring. So I learned where the story should not dip, how the story should be up, and how you should create a balance. This came with
Mm.
practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm sure that you're continuing to write, and you have this one book, that you're releasing now. But what are you working on next? What are you writing next?
I said military humor. The next
Yeah.
would be my collection of humor in and out of uniform.
Okay. Okay. Yes. I remember we used to see Reader's Digest, right? Humor in uniform. So
Humor
this
in
is
it. So
humor
this would be humor in and out
out
of
of,
uniform.
in and out of uniform. Yeah. Lovely. Again, since it's International Women's Month, and I think I see that you're a very empowered woman. So, what are your views on women's empowerment, and how can women? I think you are naturally confident, but how can every woman feel empowered?
See, I would always say on this issue, please let us empower the other woman we come in front of us.
Hmm.
There
Okay.
is a very big gap between this. We talk about women empowerment, but we don't support the woman who is in our orbit. I have
Good.
personally noticed that women don't support women. They are
Yeah.
either jealous or either and I wouldn't exclude myself. I'm not saying the other women. I'm saying I myself,
Yeah.
because it really took me a lot of time to bring myself up to a level that if I see another woman doing better than me, that I should not feel jealous or I should not compete with her. Or
Hmm.
and at the same time, I should be able to highlight her in public. This is what I
Yeah.
have learned. I have worked upon this. So I want every woman should work upon this issue, that we should encourage any other woman who is in our orbit. Number one, without making her feel low, without making her feel distasteful or written off. Second, we should publicly acknowledge her contribution in her area of work publicly. We only talk maine kya, I want what I did this, I did that. I think as a woman should not talk about. People should talk about me in my workplace. The other woman should talk, and I should talk about the other woman. And the third thing which I want to tell, we must not discuss the third woman who is absent during our conversation.
Hmm.
We
Yeah.
generally may mock the other woman who is not present in front of us. So
Yeah.
I, as a woman, I have stopped doing everything. If anybody in my office, in my colleagues, talks negative about the third woman who's not present, I have started telling her, let's not talk about. She may be having certain issues herself. We don't know her life. Why is she behaving? What the universe is teaching us through her. Let us see that. So I feel now I am a more empowered woman because I have learned these things, not because what I've accomplished in the materialistic world.
Hmm. Yeah.
That
No,
is
that.
woman.
Yeah.
That is woman empowerment.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. No, that totally resonates with me. Like, yeah, I don't. Believe in gossip. And I think that's a very powerful line that you said, that support the woman in front of you. I think that's a great statement to make. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, very. I recently came from Gujarat in my present workplace, and the lady I interacted, the first lady I interacted, she started talking about some other lady. You won't believe. I'm so blunt. I told her, lady, listen. you talk to me on 3 topics only. She said, what all 3 topics? I said, love, sex, and dhoka. Nothing else other than this. She was like, oh my God, ma'am. I said, don't gossip about X, Y, Z, what she wore, what she did, what she spoke to the boss, what she spoke to the colleague. I'm not interested. If you
Yeah.
want to talk, just talk love, sex, and dhoka. That's it. Khatam. I don't want to talk anything else.
Yes, that's a good way to, close people down. That.
Exactly. I have started doing this. So now I can call myself an empowered woman because I have come to
Yeah.
that point.
Okay. So, great, talking to you, and we learned a lot from you. Just a few questions, finally, like a rapid fire kind of a round. I
Yeah.
think you've already mentioned that your husband is from the Air Force. So I'm going to ask you another question. So, um, where were you born?
Bangalore.
Oh,
And
I'm
when
from Bangalore too. Yes.
Yeah. And when I was born, my mother, not knowing English, and the nurse who brought me out did not know how to announce it in Hindi and those days.
Uh-huh.
So it became very difficult for people to understand कि हुआ क्या है. मतलब people were like, what? क्या हुआ है? So, and my dadi nani are waiting to hear कि लड़का हुआ है, लड़का हुआ है, and somebody wanting बहुत सुंदर सी बेटी हुई होगी, something like that. And there I was, that ugly duckling, dark skin, curly hair, and all that thing. And that nurse is saying, madam. So
Indicated
finally
that.
they
Yes.
understood, okay. With अभी तक मेरा नाक में छेद नहीं है. I mean, that nurse, poor,
Oh,
bless that lady. She had announced that I am this. I have to supposed to wear the nose pin, but till today I don't have a hole in my nose also. She didn't know
that's a
I'll
funny
become
story.
a tomboy. First, I'll be a tomboy, then I'll join army and become an officer, and then finally a lady and a beauty queen. She did not know, probably.
Yeah. So I hope the story is going to be in your book of
Yeah, one of
stories.
my books, it
That's
is
a
coming. Definitely.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah. So we've heard about your career and how you got into writing. But what's your favorite pastime? Do you have a hobby other than this?
Dance. I love dancing.
Yes.
I love dancing.
Good. Good.
I don't know. My latest today only, probably I will be doing this Shri Valli song, Pushpa Wala
Ah,
movie.
yes, yes. So that's
I
very
don't
catchy.
understand that language, the Telugu
Uh-huh.
language. I don't understand anything other than Hindi and English. But yes, I am still going to perform that dance on Shri
Oh,
Valli.
I look forward to that. I hope there's a little video clip or something that you share.
Yeah, I would share.
Okay, so everyone should follow you just to, watch that as well. Yes. So when you moved into the beauty queen, as you said that, you were learning how to, look like a beautiful woman again. So what's your favorite attire?
Uniform has always been my favorite attire. I donned it for 14 years, but then once I left it, after that, sari has been my favorite attire. So you can see I'm wearing a sari because I promote handloom weavers also. I'm part of
Okay.
a movement wherein we promote handloom weavers. So I
Mhm.
wear everything handloom. So this is a co-optech sari, you can see, and this is because woven by some weavers. So
Yeah,
I promote them. I think that, and a sari makes every woman look beautiful. So
yeah,
this is one attire I always love to wear.
yeah. And of course, India is such a rich, probably the richest heritage that way, in terms of fabrics and
Exactly,
all of
exactly.
that. Yeah.
A fabric and designs, beauty, and it enhances the beauty of every woman. Every woman.
Yeah. So this is my last question, and since at least this current lockdown went off a little peacefully, so hopefully things are a little quiet, and that till the next one comes up. So,
Mm.
do you have any plans to travel, and where would you like to travel next?
Yeah, I thought, I mean, actually, I'm not a very travel person because I'm
Okay.
always running short of time. Actually, I'm always, my life is like a train. If you
Yeah.
see a normal train, you would
Yeah.
see me one day, or rather whole day, in the entire day I would be in the that patra wala class, wherein that wooden benches are there. One day you'll see
Yeah.
me there, or 1 minute you'll see, then other moment I'm in the first AC or in the second AC or in the third AC, or then sometimes I'm in the engine as the driver. Sometimes I'm the guard who's giving the Hari Jhandi and the Lal Jhandi. I mean, I'm always running. I'm always on the
Yeah.
track only. So I haven't had that time to travel as such. Actually, I couldn't plan. But then if ever I want to travel, I would love to go to somewhere where the beaches are there, maybe Kerala, Pondicherry. I have it in
Yeah.
mind somewhere very scenic beauty, hills and greenery and water bodies, basically.
Yeah. I hope your wish comes true, and knowing you, I'm sure you'll make it happen sometime. So, I wish you all the best. Thank you. It was lovely talking to you. Wish you all the best for your book. So everybody do pick up when it gets released. Olive Green to Beauty Queen. I think it's going to be an amazing story that we're all going to enjoy and get inspired by. I'm looking forward to it, and look forward to talking to you again later for your future ventures, Ankita.
Thank you so much, Sandhya. Thank you for inviting me. It was pleasure talking to a pleasant personality like you. I mean, I'm getting such lovely vibes from you. I mean, as if I would love to connect with you more after this as well. So good.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you so much. And God bless your daughter for helping us in this interview recording. Thank you so
Yep.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.